It needs emphasizing that when the national chairman visited him on behalf of the party after the August 26 Special Electoral College in an attempt to bring all the 10 aspirants together, he did not portray any sign of resigning from the party, let alone going independent. The New Patriotic Party acknowledged this Mr. Chematin's contribution to our party's growth and development over the years. We respect his decision and extend our gratitude for the services rendered to the NPP and Mother Ghana. Since 1992, several party faithfuls have had the vision to lead the party and subsequently to lead the country. But sadly, as nature has its own course, only a few have had the opportunity to achieve that vision. Party faithfuls who never had the opportunity to lead never resigned from the party, but continued to serve, some until they were called to eternity. And this reminds us of personalities such as Professor Dubois, Dr. Selby, Dr. Safodu, Dr. Addison, Mr. Kodia, J.H. Mensah, and the rest. Just as many faithfuls who had no vision to lead the party, but served the party in various capacities and never tasted power, but died holding on to the banner of our great party. The NPP has always been a dynamic and resilient political party, and this movement serves as an opportunity for us to demonstrate our unity, fortitude, and unwavering commitment to the principles upon which our party was founded. As the party strives to win the 2024 general election and make a monumental record, we urge party faithfuls to reaffirm their dedication towards this common goal. Our party strength has always been derived from the unity and resilience of our members, and we call upon each and every one of you to rally together and uphold the principles that define us. Indeed, we are the NPP, and the elephant is our winning symbol.
You heard Justin Kodia Frimpong. He's the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Adabraka, in Accra. We are also around the globe on citynewsroom.com. So you're just hearing the reactions from Justin Kodia Frimpong, General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, who called a press conference this afternoon to react to the resignation of a person you can describe as a stalwart of the party. He has been with the New Patriotic Party for more than 30 years. Alan Kwadwo Chematin was known as one of the key people who were doing business at the time as young members of the party, giving credit for a number of financial assistance given to the party. John Kufuor gave him an ambassadorial position as well as a ministerial position. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo gave him a ministerial position at the same portfolio 2 consecutive times in his 2 terms in office before he resigned to eventually say that he's going to run for office, having run for the office and coming third in that super delegates congress of the party. He was not happy, fell out with the party, decided to resign and announced that he will run independent. Let's speak to the party now. Henry Nana Boakye, also known as Nana B, is national organizer of the New Patriotic Party. He's joined us on the line. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Oh, thank you very much, Sanda.
How big a deal was Alan in your party as of yesterday? How would you consider him, or how would you have considered him if you and I were having this conversation yesterday morning?
Oh, Sanda, good evening, and good evening to your cherished listeners and then viewers. Honorable Alan Kwadwo Chematin, until yesterday, he was a huge figure in the party. He was there during the formation of this party. He's been part and parcel of the structures of this party. As you rightly put it, he was an ambassador to US 3 years. He came back. He was a minister, trade and industry under former President Kufuor, and then he was trade and industry minister until just, I think, first quarter of this year when he resigned. So he's a huge figure. He's a huge personality. We really respect him for that. But then the New Patriotic Party is huge, is humongous, is big, and no one person is bigger than the elephant family. So yes, today we wish him well, and we have even directed our members that he should not be under any sort of attack. Yes, that is his personal decision, and this is democracy. We respect his wishes, his will. He intends to contest the 2024 presidential elections as an independent candidate, and that is it. So that is what this press conference was. It was one of the key things, and the General Secretary highlighted the fact that we do not intend to attack the former minister, but then rather there were some erroneous impressions created. There were some few things we thought that we could straighten. So yes, he was a huge figure. He has announced his resignation. We take it in good faith. The party moves on. I mean, the party is huge and big, as I've already mentioned.
You do not think that there will be a void, which void will not be, you will not be able to fill in the party, his absence?
In this party, no void can be described as a void that cannot be filled by any person, frankly speaking. I mean, we've gone through a lot of transitional processes. We've gone through a lot of issues, challenges. We've had our highs, we've had our lows. Don't forget, in 2015, the national chairman, the general secretary, and then the national first vice chairman of the New Patriotic Party, they were suspended when they went through due process, and the party lived on and then fought a good fight and then won the elections. So, yes, this party is not built on personalities. This party is built on the collective interest of all the persons who intend to sacrifice for the party.
Now he has left. He did not just leave, but in shutting the door behind him, he denounced your administration as executives of the party, saying that you were unfair, you were favorable to one candidate. Essentially, you have been hijacked, and I'm using the party to mean you, and that a few of you have hijacked this party and running the party not the way that the likes of Odoi Sykes ran it, the likes of Darocha ran it. It's essentially a verdict on your administration as current executives. What do you say to that?
I find it very, very, very unfair, and in a very charitable voice, I would say that very unkind words, because, first of all, how can the party be hijacked? Look, in 1992, we just had just around 2,000 delegates electing the presidential candidate. We opened up the process, we deepened it, and then the first time we had a constitutional amendment to make sure that we had, quite a good number of the party people, the stakeholders voting. We had close to about 160,000 people voting. In November 4th, we are going to have 200,000 party delegates voting. How can anybody describe such a process as being hijacked? And you see, now the leader of the New Patriotic Party is His Excellency the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. It is this same person you contested. It is this same person who announced your name before any other person that you're going to be a minister. If you if you put up such words, the party has been hijacked by a selected group of party leaders and elders and government appointees behind the curtains of our pockets. So The leader of the party is the president. So, in essence, you are rather directing this language at the person of His Excellency the President. And I find it very unfair. This is the party which party you have served in various capacities. Look, we've been in power for 16 years. And out of the 16 years, the respected Honorable Alan Kojucho Martin has served for almost about 14 years as a minister and as an ambassador, both put together. That is why in the statement of the General Secretary mentioned that there were people who also anticipated, who also had the aspirations, who had wanted to also contest to be presidential candidates. Then they will move forward to become maybe president or so. Their dreams never came through. They never resigned. In fact, currently we had almost about 10 persons who aspired to become president. When we had the special delegate conference, it was shortlisted to 5. Now, 5 people never went through. In fact, they have not come out to say that they are leaving the party because they were not voted for. In fact, Honorable Wache Jakun, who also withdrew from the process, is on record to have said that my party, right or wrong, I stand with my party. I may not be happy, but I stand with my party. And that is democracy for you. There were 2 things that he mentioned. He mentioned that 9 out of the 10 aspirants put together a petition, presented it, and put it before National Council. And the protection of our Constitution is clear. It is the National Council that has the sole mandate, the sole responsibility to determine the venue for the conduct of the presidential primaries. In executing this mandate, yes, you have put before the National Council a petition to vary the 2024 practice. That practice was to hold the primaries, the special delegates conference, in all the then 10 regions, and then we have an additional polling center at the headquarters, making 11. So if we intend, if your petition is seeking to move from that position, then there must be a compelling reason. Okay, National Council invited you, we listened to these aspirants, and then we have to, look, I've been National Youth Organizer before, I'm now National Organizer. We have never had any such controversial issue which will warrant National Council to put that particular matter to vote. And on this particular petition, we have to vote on it. An overwhelming majority of 74 eminent persons, National Council members, voted against the petition. And 9 persons voted for the petition. How can this be described as unmeritorious and unconstitutional when it is National Council that is mandated to determine the venue for the conduct of the presidential primary?
So National Council is allowed because it is National Council to change the game, the rules of the game in the course of the game. Because for 2 stalwarts of your party, Ejakun, to denounce what you did, and for Alan Chemantin to be unhappy with what you did, that's a problem, isn't it?
No.
And for 9 out of 10 candidates to send a petition, which petition gets rejected, really is something that bothers him a lot, and one of the reasons he decided to quit.
That is why, if you are a democratic person, you need to understand the processes involved in pushing what we want, that is democracy. Because yes, you have been listened to, you have had fair hearing, and then what is the matter? The matter is that let's vote. The overwhelming majority votes against it. I think that you need to take it in good faith. And now what you mentioned, yes, this matter again came up. Now, National Council never approved of any guidelines, right, that suggested or that said, because in the guidelines it said that if there's a tie, then the following week there should be a rerun of the entire. National Council never approved of it. And then we went through our minutes. So National Council said no, because National Council is the second highest decision-making body of the party. The National Council then said that to determine the fifth person, the National Council members, because don't forget, practically it was even going to be difficult. We had our diaspora people coming in. We had 3 reps from 27 countries who came in, and at that time they had even left. So National Council found that guideline as not guideline that was approved by National Council. And that is how come National Council said no. Then to determine the tie, National Council members, over 100 persons, are going to determine who is the fifth person. So that matter also came before National Council, and we deliberated deeply, and we made a decision.
If things had gone his way...
Sandra, please, if I can make this
okay,
point. Look,
Land.
The Special Delegates Conference, if you check the composition, we are talking about constituency chairpersons. We are talking about regional executives. We are talking about national executives. We are talking about MPs. We are talking about National Council of Elders. We are talking about ministers who are MPP members. How can anybody suggest that these people, there are some unseen hands which is manipulating these people and which is pushing these persons in one line? It is very unfair. These are the managers of the party in the various various structures of the party. And for anybody to suggest that these persons are being manipulated by some unseen hands is very unfair. So we felt that no, these are some of the things that borders on the party's operation, and then we had to respond to. But then we don't have anything against Honorable Alanche Martin. He served well, we wish him well, and that should be it.
If things had gone... Okay, apologies. We've lost Nana B there. We'll try to re-establish connection with him. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll try to re-establish connection with Nana B. Let me bring you a few other people who have been speaking on this matter before I go back to Henry Anabuachi. Let's hear from Kwamna Bartels. Now, Kwamna Bartels was a member of parliament for the Ablekuma North constituency. His daughter is currently an MP for that particular area, Sheila Bartels. He served as a minister in the Kufuor government, and under Akufo-Addo's government, he was a board chair of GOIL, I'm told. Let's listen to what he said. He spoke to Hansen Ajiman of the Citi Newsroom, and he says Alan should be left to go.
How did you take this decision?
I felt sorry for him because he's taking the worst decision he can ever take in his political life.
Why do you say so?
He's finished. As a politician, this is the end for him.
Do you think he's been treated unfairly? He says he's been treated unfairly.
I won't judge, but we have processes within the party for dealing with unfair treatment. And every party, every human institution, you have all these little skirmishes. And when they come, they are dealt with according to the processes which have been laid down.
Do you think the party can resolve this without it affecting its chances in 2024?
It's happened twice. We won't allow it to happen twice.
That's Kwamna Bartels. He served as Minister for the Interior in the Kufuor government. I've got Henry Anabuachi back on the line. Apologies, we lost you there, and I was going to ask my last question, and that question has to do with the fact that what he said while walking out, are you going to say that at least one or two of the things he said are true and you're going to work on them as a party, or you're simply saying everything he has said is not true and wish him goodbye?
Sandra, you know what? You recall that he had issued a press statement after the special delegates conference, and then where he outlined some unfortunate issues that ensued during the elections. The General Secretary, right afterwards, issued a statement and then condemning some of these isolated issues that happened, and then also referring certain personalities to the disciplinary committee for them to go through the processes. Now, Omaru, how can anybody describe an electoral process which occurred in 17 polling centers? We had just issues coming out, or people raised issues with regards to only one polling center. And then somebody would want to say, because of that, the entire process is flawed. 1 out of 17? I don't think so. And then all the issues he mentioned in the first press release, these are issues the General Secretary quickly came out and said that they were going to work with. So, yes, some of the things that he said, we are already working with them. They are disciplinary committee working. And then we kept that, Omar, don't even forget that the process that happened was just the first part. And then Honorable Alan Chematin appears to be part of the first 5. But the main election would have been November 4th. So it is not as though we have concluded the November 4th elections and you have some problems with it, for which reason you are opting out. We have not even had the election, and that is the final determinant. So yes, we wish him well. That is fine.
What he has done, Alan, is akin to the frog coming out of the river and saying that the crocodile is dead, except that he's not saying the MPP is dead, but perhaps rotting in the extent that you are rotting democratically. You are still saying that for someone with that weight in the party to come out and say that you are an undemocratic political party, it does not give political fodder to the opposition party, and that this is actually an implosion of a kind for your party?
No, not at all. I mean, don't forget, Adamaru, if you followed the politics of MPP and NDC very well, we've had some, personalities, very key persons, always coming the opposite side. And then the mother party has always remained strong. I mean, we've had even the former president, in some such sharp, opposition to his own party. We've had the former president, that is the former first lady, even challenging the certain president, and then even she went on to form her own party. NDC is still there. NDC is not dead. So I don't think that these things are really going to affect us at all. These were his opinion. That is why we had to clarify some of the issues that he raised. So clearly, we do not subscribe to that.
Finally, as organizer of your party, your job is to organize... Oh, I think the line has really been bad. Apologies. We've lost Henry Nanabuachi, his national organizer of the New Patriotic Party. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. More reactions coming through following Alan's exit. Let's go to the party base. Domina, you have a story for us.
Well, so members of the campaign team of Alan in the Northern region have declared support for Dr. Baumia. At a press conference in Tamale, an administrator of the Alan campaign team, Chabite Moses Moye, indicated that the team's support for Alan was tied to his affiliation with the party, and therefore by cutting ties with the NPP, the former flag-bearer aspirant has also severed ties with his support base in the region.
He said basically we're going to look up to whoever wins as the presidential candidate, we work for that person. But for now, all signs show that His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, who is also contesting, will win. And whether we like it or not, he is coming, and we have to work for the party. So we will surely, for now, work with him and make sure that he gets the nod, and will continue to work for NPP to win power 2024.
Well, that's Chabite Moses Moye. He's the former administrator of the Alan campaign team in the Northern region.
And there's another video that I have here, which I'm just going to play for you. It's a video of a supporter of Alan in the Northern region who is actually moving around, removing his posters. Listen to this. So this actually in the Ashanti region where okay, so that's in the Ashanti region where this gentleman is just ripping off posters of Alan. You have a story from Ashanti, don't you, Ajwa?
Yes, I do. In the Ashanti region, members of the party today began removing posters of the former Minister for Trade and Industry, Alan Kyerematen, from the party's various offices. This followed a directive from the Ashanti regional chairman of the party, Bernard Enchibo-Siako, that all posters of the NPP former flag bearer aspirant should be removed after he resigned from the party. City News checks shows that indeed the party members in the region have begun removing posters of Alan Kyerematen at the various party offices.
And now let's hear voices of support for Alan. Let's hear from his wife, who spoke to journalists after yesterday's press conference.
That now the signal is clear. And it is more than possible that this will happen.
Who is Alan Kyerematen? Tell us about him.
Alan Kyerematen is the good man. He's the honest man. He's the man with vision. He's what Ghana needs at this time in our.
This move, some say, is a clearly political suicide mission for your husband.
Come again.
You cannot win the election before asking you to go independent.
There is nothing impossible if God permits it.
Thank you very much.
So that's Alan Kyerematen's wife speaking to journalists at the press conference yesterday. Alan had some ministers supporting him. Key among them, Minister for Railways Development, the Honourable Member of Parliament for Hohwe, John Peter Amewu. We're yet to hear what his position on the matter is, but we've heard from Abnao Asari, Deputy Minister of Finance, who has distanced herself from Alan Kyerematen. We have also heard from the Member of Parliament for Mprai. So he spoke to us yesterday, OPK. David Sopukwansa spoke to an Eyewitness yesterday, distanced himself. We've also heard from the Member of Parliament for Botiano English, Aman from Slaitete, who has also said he's joining the Baumia camp. But there's one person who remains with Alan, and he spoke yesterday at the press conference. Well, two people. There was Yao Boabina Samoa, Member of Parliament, former for Adentang, former Director of Communications of the party. He, we are told, is still with Alan's campaign. But the Member of Parliament, former Member of Parliament for Madina, Boniface Sadiq, who was Akufo-Addo's Minister for Zongo, was at the press conference yesterday, and he says he's quitting the NPP as well, alongside Alan Kyerematen. Listen to him.
Yes, good news, and I say now. To me, good news, because when you put me soon dying in and say Alan, war at the Papa on my Ghana. It is what the president, the vision will come into reality. It knows and Alan say or Pesho Dani or Mampenia and Yaboni. Ni Papa Mua and Alan and Yabre. They say also resign every NPP. Come with the money now, resigning block, Edina Chiana answer or no pan resigning. Baby, I go for Nijina no Yawana and Bagina. Nasene Alan, Obieni me, Semine Alan, and a walk of Wabaim. And yes, sir, now Emine Alan will be a Musimine Nunam. Now, at the Papa say,
So that's Boniface Sadiq Abubakar, former Member of Parliament for Madina, former Minister for Zongo Development, announcing his unflinching support for Alan Kyerematen. Meanwhile, when we spoke to OPK on Eyewitness News yesterday, he said to us that the at least 20 MPs who were supporting Alan prior to the primaries, none of them is going to follow him into his campaign to run as an independent candidate. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. And again, at the press conference today, where the NPP spoke about Alan's exit, the chairman of the party, made a statement to Alan Chairmantin, in which statement he said and reminded Alan Chairmantin that he has run for the office of chairman, and I'm referring to Stephen Ntim, for 20 years. He started at age 45 and won it, 54 rather, 44, and won that position at age 65, running for the same position as chairman. This is Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Charlie, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Mr. Mane. Sorry. Chairman Mane. Chairman. Hey, Chairman! Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
It's the best season of the year, just in some points. Momo Pay or you say Momo app. Send with ease and win big. You be merchant or you be Momo user. Momo season Avanti, send Divya. Send Divya. Momo season Avanti, send Divya.
From now till the end of September, end points when you download the Momo app and make Momo Pay transactions to a merchant via either the QR code or merchant ID and stand the chance of winning 1,000 Ghana cedis weekly and other amazing prizes. Our merchants are not left out. Receive payment and win. There are lots and lots of exciting prizes to be won. So download the Momo app, transact with Momo Pay and get rewarded this Momo season. TNCs apply.
MTN.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Messages now. Isifu number from Sambik in the Northeast region says, I was disappointed the special delegates tend to be special Boxing Day. If someone is wrong, he is wrong. Okay, let me bring a few more messages that you've been sending through. Al-Hassan Sise from Zainu Central says, Alan's resignation from the NPP to me is not news. All what I'm waiting for is Kennedy to join Alan. Okay. Father SK from Kenya in Kumasi says, Alan's withdrawal from the NPP to contest as an independent candidate in the 2024 elections is very commendable. At least this would remove the duopoly system of politics in the country. Anbi says, I understand Alan is human and I believe whether he loses or wins the next presidential elections, he's the right choice. He suffered for a party which never wanted him to stand by him, and now they're just making excuses. This person is called Abi National from Y, and he says, looking at the two press conferences, today's one looks like a cemetery. NPP should accept that they failed. Aka Paul Jr. in Ahafomim says, the damage has already been caused to the ruling party. They should have resolved their differences right after the super delegates elections. The party, I'm sure, would definitely suffer for this. Jones Adboy Inla says, Alan is just being a citizen and not a spectator. Rather unfortunate, he dissociates himself from the mess of Akufo-Addo and Bawumia's government. New Dig of Accra says the NPP is a family business party, so Alan would draw most of them. Draw most of them to the new movement Butterfly Party and collapse the NPP. This one says the man never joined to become a councillor, but a presido. So Mr. Secretary, get it. Alex Kofi Yareni from Adenta Commando says, The General Secretary and the Chairman of the NPP have surprised me big time for making a whimsical decision to betray the Kufuor faction, of which Alan is the favorite. Time will tell. Sir Obama Mpokwasi says Alan's resignation from the NPP is born out of bad faith and unfortunate. Listening to him yesterday, it sounded as though the flag bearership position of the NPP is his birthright, for which reason he must lead at all costs. He knows very well that he is embarking on an impossible mission. He just wants to destabilize the NPP front in 2024 and reposition himself for 2028. But he'll be disappointed because Bawumia is destined to lead the NPP and become the next president of Ghana. Ibrahim from Boko says, in Islam, we value good endings than good beginnings of a person. It implies Alan's political career started well and ended badly. Let's not copy Alan's character. Prince Henry Nkoforida says Alan should have resigned earlier. He has stayed with the sinking boat for long and therefore can't be seen as a new person to cause any fear to the NDC rather than MPP come 2024. The future is pregnant. Al-Hassan Hamdan from Nyoni South says, I really feel the pain of Alan Cash. If I were him, I would have also done the same. And Elvis Kachekpo from Ashaiman says, so NPP will not change and speak the truth for once. Alan should know that he is not loved by his own people. Mr. Alan, please come and join NDC. It's okay, let me leave the messages for you. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's move from Alan Chemantin and talk about other matters now, shall we? Ajwa.
Well, leadership of the two main political parties, the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party, have called on the Electoral Commission to address issues of long queues at the various registration centres with less than a week to end the ongoing limited voters registration exercise. The EC began the exercise across its 268 district offices on September 12 and is expected to end the exercise next Monday. With less than a week to end the exercise, the opposition believes an extension of the date will make up for the lost time during the initial stages of the registration. Mustafa Bande is Deputy General Secretary of the NDC.
So far, so good. Used to the situation now, since EC refused to do anything about it. We are pleased that we still record challenges operationally in terms of network challenges and then also electricity, particularly in the OT region. What is very surprising is that the Electoral Commission have decided to withdraw some hands and some machines despite the continuous long queues that we have and the traffic that we have as far as the registration is concerned. That is the only challenge that we have now. One would have expected that as much as the queues remain very long and the traffic remain very tight because of the number, we would rather add more machines to speed up the process. But rather the EC is rather withdrawing machines that are supposed to be augmenting the workforce, and that's the difficulty we have understanding the rationale behind EC's action to withdraw this machine. Well, the obvious thing to do, or we expect, is an extension of date to enable the queues. But once people are in queues and they have traveled far away to come to the district capitals, the reasonable thing is get them registered. And so we expect a preparation to extend. And to what date are we expecting these extensions so that we can cover up at least the people who have shown interest and are in the queues so far. That is what we expect from the Electoral Commission going forward.
Mustafa Bande is a Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Well, for the governing New Patriotic Party, they will use all available means to get more people to register. Professor Haruna Mohammed is a Deputy General Secretary of the party.
The NPP have followed the process of the limited registration as started by the Electoral Commission. We have made some observations as the registration exercise went on, and we have had a review of our own meeting with respect to that particular registration. The last part of this registration is something that we have given much attention, and all national officers have been assigned to their various regions to monitor. As I speak with you, I just returned from the Northeast region, and will be getting back to the region after I touch down in Accra today, go back to finish up the last part of the limited registration. Yes, the numbers that have come out are very encouraging. But we need to do more on mobilization of the people to get out to register. That is the more key thing that we have to focus as a political party. We have also observed some of this with the difficulties in some of the machines, the long queues, and the the distance that the people come from, and in terms of the cost involved. All these matters are something that we have all observed. We have also observed that there are more people that are coming out for this particular exercise, and the machines that are used for the registration are few in most of the instances. So we call on the Electoral Commission to add more machines to the centers to be able to cover the rest of the people who are very interested to exercise their right to register.
You heard Professor Haruna Mohammed. He's a Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. Let's do some other stories now. The Minister for National Security, Albert Kandapar, has sued the convener of the Fix the Country movement, Oliver Barker-Vormawor, for alleging that the National Security and other government officials met him in 2021 and offered him money to supposedly silence him. Mr. Barker-Vormawor had claimed that he was offered $1 million and other positions in government in order to stop this activism, which was supposedly painting the government black. Barker-Vormawor made the allegations after he and others were released by the police after they were arrested on September 22 for staging a demonstration in Accra in breach of a restraining order secured by the police. Kandapar is in suit, is among other things asking the court to declare that the words uttered by Barker-Vormawor are defamatory. He is also demanding the recovery of the sum of 10 million Ghana cedis as general damages, including aggravated and or exemplary damages for defamation for the words uttered by the defendant.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
And to the Savannah region, the regional minister, Sahid Jibril, has announced plans to relocate persons who live in the flood-prone areas in Buipe in the central Gonja district. Over 100 houses have been submerged in water, displacing over 1,000 people in Buipe and 2 other communities in the district. Electricity supply has also been cut off following torrential rains in the area. Mr. Mahazu, after visiting the area and interacting with the displaced, told journalists there are plans to relocate people who live in flood-prone areas.
Very bad experience. It is the only way is for us to relocate. So I'm going to lace up with it. You see, I'm here with the entire Central Gonja District Assembly, technocrats, the politicians, everybody is here with us, so that we'll make sure that the right decisions are taken, particularly those who have started constructing new houses. You know, when we're on top of the water, you realize that some people have started even constructing new houses. We are going to stop them from further construction.
This is the case, the landlord, many of them are ready to relocate.
Like I interacted with them, you can clearly see that they are ready to move. So we have to facilitate land for them to be able to move. So I've asked the district chief executive to speak to the overlord of the Buipe traditional area. And you know, Buipe Rajinapon II is living here with the people who are feeling it. And I know the caliber of chief he is going to willingly give the people some land for them to start some construction. However, we are also going to look at how we can help as a government to make sure that this relocation is done smoothly, very, very smoothly, so that next year we wouldn't face this problem. It's so sad that you have school children. We are just fortunate that this school is on vacation. If this school reopens and these flood waters have not receded, where are the school children going to attend school? So it's going to affect almost everything. You can see clearly that it is also a health issue. One of the public toilets have completely been submerged inside the water, and this can cause a lot of waterborne diseases.
Saeed Jibril is the Savannah Regional Minister. Let's do some stories on education. And the ranking member on Parliament's Education Committee, Peter Nochukotoi, has advised government to release the over 30 million Ghana cedis arrears owed the West African Examination Council, WAEC. WAEC has completed the conduct of both Basic Education Certificate Examination, BEC, and West African Senior School Certificate Examination, WASI. But according to the MP for Akachi North, although government paid some 55 million Ghana cedis in July, the exam body does not have funds to manage the marking of scripts and other essentials to ensure the timely release of results.
The issue is that WAEC does not generate any other revenue apart from what government should give them. And it is not just what government should, because these are registration fees that government has taken over. That no, don't let students pay at the BECE. As a government, we will pay. Don't let students pay for the WASE. As a government, we will pay. But these are the various sums of money that should be given to WAEC. So every year they come to agreement how much it should be per student. So we do the calculation even at the committee level. Then we agree that this is the total sum of money that should be given to WAEC. So it is not any other money. It is what they should give WAEC per each student, either at the BEC or at the WASE level. That is what is in arrears as we're talking about now. So we are of the view that if these monies are not released in time, WAEC will have to delay the marking of both examinations, and that will affect the time of release.
Peter Nochikoto is the ranking member on Parliament's Education Committee and Member of Parliament for Akachi North.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Umaru Sandamadu here with Ajwa Domina. It's now time to bring you the latest in the world of business. And then there would have been business, point blank, but there will be no point blank tonight because there's football and the City sports team is in studio to bring you commentaries, an FA Cup game. You would want to stay tuned in and listen to that. So Eyewitness News is effectively over for now. I did this from our studios in Adabraka in Accra, production by Kobna Wilson and Beverly London with support technically from Desmond Nyako and Edwin Kwakofi supporting us on the new media side of things. Eyewitness News returns tomorrow at 17:30 GMT, but stay tuned in because we have business news and football.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Yeah, Charlie, so many vibes na bontin father ma shanaba. Ma many papa and you na do for more fear no more acquaintum. Bibia anya so amani ska ko fear see fancy da near fear for be for Javisi no parking. Ebe me Sujai Casa. Thanks to Sukasa, how to you nature. Sukasa see a dan brony for an affordable luxury homes, or more 2, 3, 4 bedrooms, where you're fully gated or grants and communities, or more malls, clubhouse, and all social amenities, plus 24-hour security. Almost our flexible payments, and yeah, no my dear at Dow Casa, plus 100% guaranteed cashback. Yes, 100% guaranteed cashback. No quick finances stories. Contact Sukasa right now through phone calls or WhatsApp on 030-296-0865 and 055-369-7886. Charlie social media so more, baby. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Sukasa GH. Email Susie at info@sukasa.com.gh. Sukasa, building on trust.
When shopping for a dress, you say,
of course, a low burst line, a little tight by the hips, covered sleeves, off shoulder, definitely.
But when buying anti-malarial drug, you say,
is it not malaria? Give me whatever is available.
Choose your malaria drugs the same way you choose your dress. Always ask for Coatem. It's also available in cherry-flavored dispersible tablets for children. Don't gamble with malaria. Choose right. Choose Coatem. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Malaria testing should be done before treatment. This advert is FDA approved. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News, powered by citybusinessnews.com. My name is Ajwa Tinkrama Domina. Let's settle for the details. The Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, says the high cost of power continues to pose a challenge to the growth of local industries. The AGI emphasizes that a recent 1.9% contraction in the manufacturing sector serves as a clear indicator that businesses are still grappling with economic pressures in the country. In light of this, the AGI is calling on the government to take deliberate actions to safeguard and support the industrial sector. Chonam Akpelu is a Greater Accra Regional Chairman of AGI.
We still have risk to the general economy in terms of pricing and the cost of production. So those issues are there. But I believe maintaining the policy rate at least gives signal that we do not expect things to escalate. There are drivers of the policy rate, and everybody expects that by now we should be experiencing downward trend in the policy rate, which will also influence other rates. But the drivers have not seen significant change. If you take inflation, for example, it has not yet described a trend yet. We have seen inflation drop, but as to whether it will drop successively from now, it's a difficult thing to say because of development around the economy. Then again, we see risk to the economy. We are not done with debt exchange. Those issues are around. And then we have not even seen the growth figures very robust. So we do not see the drivers of the policy rate down significant. So we cannot do that by reducing the policy rate. That will not be well informed by economic indicators.
That was Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the Association of Ghana Industries, Chonam Akpelu. Now, watchers of the economy say the Bank of Ghana's decision to stay the monetary policy rate at its current rate is a good signal that the economy is gradually revamping. The central bank on Monday maintained the monetary policy rate at 30% after reviewing developments in the economy, making it the second time the BOG has held the rate in a year after doing same in May 2023. Although stakeholders had hoped for a reduction in the policy rate, economist Professor John Gachi says the fact that it was not raised either is significant that the economy has moved from the volatile place it was earlier this year.
We still have risk to the general economy in terms of pricing and the cost of production. So those issues are there. But I believe maintaining the policy rate at least gives signal that we do not expect things to escalate. There are drivers of the policy rate, and everybody expects that by now we should be experiencing downward trend in the policy rate, which will also influence other rates. But the drivers have not seen significant change. If you take inflation, for example, it has not yet described a trend yet. We have seen inflation drop, but as to whether it will drop successively from now, it's a difficult thing to say because of development around the economy. Then again, we see risk to the economy. We are not done with debt exchange. Those issues are around. And then we have not even seen the growth figures very robust. So we do not see the drivers of the policy rate down significant. So we cannot do that by reducing the policy rate. That will not be well informed by economic indicators.
Professor John Gachi is an economist. Now, the National Chamber of Commerce Industry, GNCCI, has stressed the need for continued dialogue between the business community and the central bank to ensure that policies continue to foster the growth of businesses. It comes on the back of the Bank of Ghana's decision to uphold the current monetary policy rate at 30%, considering the prevailing economic conditions. Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, Mark Bedu-Abuaji, says the business community expects a drop in the policy rate to tame interest rates.
It's by now as a relatively good news because looking at what is happening in the macroeconomic environment, we're actually expecting a dip in the policy rates. But we have seen a dip in the inflation rate by just 3%, looking at June, July, and August, and then also the stability in the foreign exchange markets. The least they could do, at least, is to maintain the policy rate at the 30%. But for us, it's still very high. The policy rate of 30%, as usual, will also translate into a high interest rate. If you look at the interbank weighted average rate, which is close to 27%, that is even among the banks, that is how much they are borrowing. It means that ordinary business person who walks into the bank or any of the financial institutions to get some money will be paying more.
You heard the CEO of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mark Bedu-Abuaji. Now, the government has secured 3.9 billion Ghana cedis in the reopened domestic debt exchange program for ESLA and Dache bondholders. The Ministry of Finance, in a statement today to announce the exchange results, said this amount of outstanding bonds tendered by eligible bondholders constitute a significant achievement to fully implement the COVID-19 program for economic growth in the face of the prevailing economic situation. It, however, added that no new tenders will be accepted and no revocations or withdrawals will be permitted. Meanwhile, the government has set September 29, 2023 as a date for the settlement of the new tranches. And moving on, the Association of Bullion Operators Ghana is urging banking institutions which are yet to finalize their procurement agreements for the purchase of prescribed bullion vans to urgently do so. All banking institutions were directed to halt the usage of soft-skinned bullion vans following armed robbery attacks reported a few months ago. In an interview with Citi Business News, the president of the association, Idi Sumaila, disclosed that 22 bullion vans have been secured pending full procurement agreements from banks.
On the side of the companies, I think that we also have placed orders with companies that are retrofitting in the country, and then we have also placed orders outside the country. We are waiting for final completion and paperwork for the vehicles to arrive. I can say for sure that I am very confident 22 vehicles have been dispatched. We are waiting for the bill of lading through Savannah Group. Once it arrives, certainly we will add it to the fleet and also wait for the final 30 that is also coming. So we have 60, roughly about 65 or 67 that is being prepared. But I can say for sure 22 is ready, but it hasn't reached us yet. We are still talking to Savannah to finalize the process of shipment and documentation for us to receive it. The definite timeline is to be difficult because we are working with the banks. The banks will have to finish with their processes for us also to get the full assurance to be able to give them.
You heard the president of the Association of Bullion Operators Ghana, Idi Sumaila. And hundreds of corporate institutions are already gearing up for this year's City Business Olympics to compete among themselves for trophies and bragging rights. In this episode of our series, ahead of Saturday's event, we bring you a list of some of the companies lacing their boots for the competition.
Come Saturday, September 30, the Eden High Sports Complex at Wager will come alive as a number of business organizations gather for the 2023 edition of the City Business Olympics. The companies will compete in various sporting disciplines, other fun games, and later an ultimate CEO will be crowned. Aside from the excitement, the event will be a day of team building and business networking. Let me just run by you a list of some of the participating companies. We have eTransact, Rect School, Papaya Fast Foods, Sinlab Ghana, Alisa Hotel, MTN, MDS Lancet, Kena Pharma, and Ghana Post. The rest include Stanbic Bank. GEPA is also featuring, STC is on standby, Gwel, DBS Industries, and the Greater Accra Regional Hospital all ready to showcase their sporting prowess. That's not all. We have Fair Afrique, Ghana Maritime, and then GCB, our defending champions, all participating. That's a wide array of companies, isn't it? From academia to health and hospitality, the financial institutions are also dominating, plus those in manufacturing and production. There is even more if you do join us on Saturday at the Eden High Sports Complex. So if your company misses this year's City Business Olympics, then definitely your staff miss an experience of a lifetime. For more on registration, please call 0205 973 973 or 0558 973 973. The City Business Olympics 2023 is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by Lozati Lozenges from Unicom, Chemist Limited, EK Brand Consults, Blue Janes Energy Drink, Hollard Insurance, Volta Ghana Limited, Fanugo, and Universal Motors.
And that was a report by City Business News' Latte, ending City Business News on Eyewitness News tonight. It was powered by your most comprehensive business website, citybusinessnews.com. My name is Ajwa Tinkrama Domina. Thank you so much for listening. Good evening.
You know, your Papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Tell you guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz. And he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
City 97.3.